of mortgages are under 5%. Are you guys feeling that in your business? Are you guys feeling that the buyers are coming back, the flippers and the buy and hold guys? Are you guys feeling that at all? No? Anybody? Let's not let me talk at you. Let's talk together here, okay? Are you guys seeing that?
Yes.
That there's more buyers. We're seeing a tremendous amount in Phoenix right now because there's so much frozen inventory. Nobody's putting their homes on the market, so the flippers are making a mint right now. And you just heard it from Tim. Tim was saying that it's going to be this way for years. I think that this is going to be the greatest run that we're going to have in our real estate business because you've got so many people that have left our industry, and there's 215 of us in here. There should be 2,000 people in here. You know what I mean? It's going to be absolutely incredible, the amount of opportunities that we run into and the relationships that we build with our cash buyers, if you are wholesaling, and I know a lot of us are. So I want to start with this. Discipline takes you places motivation cannot, right? The whole point of this whole meetup, this whole group, this whole weekend is to take stuff home that you're going to actually use, right? Don't let it just be a motivating thing. Don't just have some relationships that you never text anybody. The discipline comes from the skills that you build, right? It comes from what you do every single day. Did you do your job today? That's it. And if you're growing and you're building and it's just you, that's everything. The motivation's great. Watching videos is great. Listening to podcasts are great. Coming to events like this are great. Networking is great. RIAs are great. But what's the discipline that you have in your business? Are you doing what you're supposed to be doing every single day? And that's why I want to talk about these 20 skills. Yeah, all 20 of them. Look at this. 20 skills. In 20 years of doing this is what it all has boiled down to in my mind, is these 20 skills. And these are the 20 skills that we have to have, and these are the 20 skills that our teams have to have. And I'm going to really break down a couple of these in here, and then I'm going to show you the way that I've grown my company, and I've had the same people in my company for the last 4 years. And if you've been in real estate for more than 4 years, you know that the turnover is crazy in our business. And so keeping unbelievable talent is critical to your business, okay? Time management, lead generation, pre-qualifying, lead follow-up, property valuation, exit strategies, repair, renovation, valuation, handling objections, closing skills, offer presentation and negotiating, cash buyer database, and or raising funds, depending on your strategy, but this is for any real estate business. Negotiating with your buyers, escrow and title, building your team, business planning, tracking your numbers, mindset, goal setting, motivation, money management, profit understanding, personality styles. It's a lot. It's a whole bunch. That's what's so exciting about our business. It's never ending. We are always constantly building skills. But the issue that I see with so many companies is we are trying to leverage skills with people that we pay $5 an hour. Anybody has made that mistake at all? Hiring people at $5, $6, $7 an hour, VAs, right? Do you know the equation? The income equation? Your income's equal to the amount of value you provide. And we hire people for $5 an hour. How much value do you think that they're going to provide our company? It just doesn't work, guys. It doesn't work. We need to hire the top tier people. We have to hire the absolute best people, and we have to help them develop their skills, and we have to develop the skills ourselves. We can't just rest on a couple big deals that we close. Because it's awesome, right? It's awesome to close a big 6-figure deal and then just feel like we're the smartest real estate investors of all time. But then it goes away. Then we give it all back. We give it all back to marketing. We give it all back to different strategies. We give it all back to hiring, over hiring. Happens all the time. Happens all the time. But focusing on these 20 skills, I'm telling you, is the foundation of building a long-lasting profitable business? Comes down to these. Got it? We good? Anybody have a struggle with any of these? Anybody want to throw it out?
Money management.
Money management, there you go. Time management. How about that one? That's a fun one to unravel. It's not time management, it's priority management. It's not priority management, it's energy management. It's not energy management, it's attention management. It's all just not doing our fucking job. That's it. Whether that's fear-based or whether that's just complacency. So we work on doing our job every single day and growing a team that is doing their job every single day. Building your team. Here's my 8 tips for building out your team. And I know a lot of people just talking in the breaks are at that point now where you're building out your team, which is awesome. Number 1, I will not hire somebody that needs a job. They must already have a job. I want to recruit people that already are employed. This one is critical because there are so many people that will pour honey in your ear and they'll tell you all the best stuff and they'll tell you why they're in between opportunities right now and how they're looking for a change and they're just putting things on pause and they last 6 weeks in your company. They have to have a job. Find them, recruit them. Look at it, go into LinkedIn and find the people that you want on your team and aggressively go after them. Turtle and hair, we all know this one, or at least it's in every management book that I've ever read, is hire slow, fire fast, right? The fire fast one is tough. That's the toughest one for me personally because I love people. You know what I mean? I see the best in them. I'm very optimistic. I'm very optimistic in my own ability to motivate them. I'm very optimistic in the raw talent that they have. But you know when they're the wrong fit. You know when they're not going to be able to make it. You know when they're not going to be able to help you achieve the vision that you have, which is essentially just the goals that you have. What's your goal? That's your vision. What's the vision for the company? Are they going to be able to help you with that? And if not, get rid of them. You're doing them a disservice. So get rid of them. And take your time. Really recruit the absolute best talent that you possibly can. Number 3, they got to be natural at the role. If you are doing a bunch of sales training, you have the worst sales team of all time. I'm just telling you. They got to be natural. Natural. If you're trying to get somebody that is not naturally organized and put them in a role to be organized, it's not going to happen. You're just wasting your time. But the biggest one I see is we're trying to make non-salespeople salespeople. The more training I do with the salespeople, the less money I make every time. Ryan, my acquisition manager, which you'll see what I pay him and a breakdown of what they do and all that. I didn't train him at all. I just threw him out there. And because he was so naive, he just started locking up deals. You guys experience this at all? Just people that are just naturally. He's walking around. We went to an all-inclusive resort. And him and my junior acquisition manager had a competition on who could say hi to the most people. Just walking around, hi, how you doing? 15, 16, hi, 18, 19, the whole time. You could drop them in the middle of nowhere, they're making friends. Right? Just natural, absolute natural. But you go, oh, we're gonna put you through the sales course, and I'm gonna just grind you, and I'm gonna keep management on you, and I'm gonna just be over you all the time, and I'm gonna give you all these scripts, and I'm gonna give you all these things, and I'm gonna give you all this. It's not going to work. You can train them up to know what to say when it comes to real estate. You can help them overcome some objections that they're dealing with. But for the most part, people that are naturally great at sales are just gonna get the job done. They just will. We were at the Closers Olympics, And it's like, these guys just naturally can talk. Right, Nathan? Right? I mean, would you agree with this? From a sales perspective? Just naturally going. So make sure that they're natural. The next one's really tough. You have to make 30 grand 3 straight months before you hire anybody. Anybody. I don't care if you're part-time. I don't care if you have a full-time job. I don't care about any of that stuff. You have to make 30 grand 3 straight months before you can put the financial responsibility of somebody else and their family in your hands. Discipline. Did you do your job? If you didn't do your job and you start hiring somebody to do the job that you're not even doing, you don't have a business. You're just playing it. 30K, 3 straight months. That's what's going to prove that you can have the financial responsibility of somebody else in your hands. And it's a huge responsibility. It really is. It doesn't matter where they live. Next, these are the 4 main rules: admin, lead generation, acquisitions, and dispositions. Now, admin is just kind of taking care of the paperwork, just keeping everything organized. Lead generation is making sure that you're constantly, the engine of your business is constantly running. Because when we're a one-person show, it's kind of tough to keep lead generation going when we're also servicing the income, right? There's income producing activities and then there's income servicing activities. And it's really difficult. That's why in the beginning we kind of go up like this, right? So making sure, number one, that you take all the paperwork off your plate, because we should be doing at least 75% of our time should be in income generating activities, right? That's lead generation, that's going on the appointments, it's getting the contract signed, and that's negotiating with our buyers. Or whatever it is, flipping properties, dealing with contracts, whatever it is. But having somebody run your lead generation is so critical. So critical to make sure that you keep that engine rolling. Acquisitions, we've hit on that. I think that my philosophy with acquisitions is somebody should be in office all the time and somebody should be on the streets all the time. Not both. Right? Somebody should just be on the phone, making calls all day, keeping these leads warm, shortening the timeline, getting the appointment set, and somebody should be out there on the appointments getting it closed, getting the contract signed. Because when you try to do both, the problem is the appointments start destroying your lead follow-up. Right? Because they're running around instead of following up with the leads that they're supposed to that day. And then dispositions, holy cow. I mean, Robert really hit on this. Absolutely critical. Absolutely critical. There was a time, and I don't know if it's still happening right now, where people are just paying like $250 per sale for their dispositions manager. That's ridiculous. They will make or break your whole business. They're the difference between making $12,000 and $50,000 on deals. Is your dispositions team. Your dispositions team should be finding all the cash buyers, communicating with them, building a strong relationship with them all the time, and trying to squeeze the most out of every single deal. Build that healthy tension, right? With your cash buyer database if you're wholesaling. Is this hitting anybody? Are we good? Is this? Woo! Yeah? Can we get some energy and some? Yeah! Yeah! Awesome. Business plan. Here we go. You don't have any competition except for one thing, and that's your business plan. That's it. You want some of this, right? You want some of this? To your business plan. Not to each other. There's more nuts than there are squirrels. You know what I'm saying? There's more deals than there are us. There's more ugly houses. There's more ugly situations than there are real estate investors. So the only competition we have is our business plan. And the fact is, 92% of us don't have business plans. Just don't. Why? Because we love deals. We're deal junkies. We're going to go out there. We're going to find some deals. We're going to get paid. We're going to change our lives. We don't need a plan for that. That's easy. You do if you want to hire people. You do if you want to take it to the next level. You do if you want to replace yourself in this business. You need to have a business plan. That's the only thing that you compete against is your own business plan. And the best part is you got to set it up yourself. Isn't that crazy? You just got to make it up. You just make it up, whatever you want. And then you just put how you're going to achieve that business plan. And then you fight against it every single day. Day, week, month, and quarter. Every single day. Did you do your job? That's the whole Bill Belichick thing, right? He won all those Super Bowls on one philosophy. Just do your job this one play. Don't worry about the last play. Don't worry about the next play. Just do your job this play. Right? Did your team do the job every single day? Did they do it this week? Did they do it this month? Did they do it this quarter? There has to be a scoreboard. There has to be a scoreboard that everybody can see. It's the ultimate accountability. And that way you don't have to be the jerk telling people they're not doing their jobs. Because they already know what their job is. And it's right there. It's on the scoreboard. Which is wonderful, because now it's a numbers thing, it's not an emotions thing. Because when it's an emotions thing, that's when we get really screwed up. P&Ls. Does everybody review their P&L on a weekly basis? Come on, nobody? Guys, profit and loss, baby. How do you know how much you're making? How do you know how much you're doing? Get a bookkeeper. You can get a bookkeeper for like $80 a month. Goes through, puts all your accounts into like QuickBooks or something. And then every month it's a button they push that shows you your profit and loss for that month. It's critical to understand. Do you know what the biggest expense in our business is? Some of the rhinos do. Do you guys have any idea what the biggest expense is? We got marketing, what else? Employees, payroll, taxes, that's all good. It's your emotions. Your emotions are the biggest expense in this business. Because you will have the highest highs and the lowest lows in this business. You will be spending that check that you're going to make on that deal, and then it falls out on the last day. Right? Just crestfallen. Right? You're just, oh God, I really needed that. This business is so brutal. It wiped out 60% of us last year. Emotions. The emotions of this business. We have to be at neutral. When we have big wins, it's awesome. But you can't over-celebrate. And then when we have big losses, we got to get past them. We got to learn from them. So the biggest expenses. Next, I love this. Income minus your profit equals your expenses. Do you guys see that? It's not income minus expenses equals your profit. What's your minimum standard for how much you're going to take home every month in this business? Because when I talk to the most successful real estate entrepreneurs, they set it at about $10,000 a month that they take home to their family. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Some it's like, well, we're a partnership, so we do $5,000 each. And the rest we reinvest into our business. That's ridiculous. Because what happens here, when this isn't ridiculous, when this isn't super high, when the profit that you're taking home isn't super high, you will fall for shiny objects. Because you have money in the account. And you're like, well, I've got all this money in the account from this deal. I'm not going to take it home. I'm going to keep it in there because I don't want to get taxed on it. Have you ever had that conversation in your own head? I don't want to get taxed on the money I take home. They're going to get it. That's the rent we pay to live in this country. I want to challenge everybody to have a minimum standard of taking home 20 grand a month each person, each owner of the business. Minimum. Because what happens is it's going to keep this from going bananas. And when the market shrinks, when the accordion of the market squeezes just a little bit like it did, you're not going to get crushed by all the expenses. Because the fact is, most businesses are 90 days away from bankruptcy. But you take the money home, you're super focused. You're taking at least 20 grand home. You start taking that whole money and putting it into assets or paying off all debts, right? That's the funniest thing in this business, right? People will buy rental properties and they'll still owe money on credit cards. What? You're somebody else's ROI and you're trying to buy rental properties. What are we doing? Get rid of all consumer debt, all student loans, all car loans, all the credit cards, all that nonsense. You can't do that if you're only taking home $5,000 a month because we're investing in our business. It doesn't work. But what happens is when you focus on this, your income explodes. It absolutely explodes because you stay super focused because you want to make sure that that number's juicy. This for me, with my wholesaling business not working in it, minimum standard is $40,000 a month. And my team runs everything. I work in the business, and I'm not just saying that as like, oh, look at me. That's just my minimum standard on it. That's how I set up my whole business. That's how I track the expenses. When I look, do I want to do Artemis mode with investor lift? Does it fit into this? Yep, great, done. Right? But the problem is, our financial thermostat is set so low from our childhood that we're like, I can't take home $20,000. I can't take home $40,000. I can't take home $80,000 a month. Because our parents never did, because we never did, because whatever. So let's raise the financial thermostat as high as possible. Let's be around people that have these financial thermostats that's just set super, super high. Let's take the money home. It'll keep you super disciplined to make sure that your expenses don't totally destroy your business. Does this make sense? Do you like this part? I think a lot. Let's clap to that. Let's clap to this. Because there are, listen, you guys are sitting here, and I know there are people sitting in here, and you're like, shit, he's right. I told you, the $3,500 we're taking home a month is not enough. I've had this conversation so many times. And as soon as that changes, their business explodes. Absolutely explodes. And you stay super focused because you don't want to kill the golden goose. And you build a real business that you actually replace yourself. I gotta speed this up. Okay. Chapter 1, yeah, don't, when you see stuff, and this is just kind of a mental thing, use social media as a tool to document your journey and not as like entertainment. Because you're going to see people that are in chapter 13, 15, 20, 25, and you're in chapter 1, and it's going to make you feel shitty, and you're not going to go to work that day. Okay? Use it as a tool, not as entertainment. All right? Daily review. Did you do your job today? Did you talk to enough new people? Did you go on enough appointments? Did you get enough contracts signed? Did you sell enough deals today to hit your goal? Daily review. And find an accountability buddy. Find somebody that has a big motor. Find somebody that batteries come included. You know what I mean? Find somebody that's really going to push you. Find somebody that's going to really do the work. Because it's lonely out there being an island. It sucks. You don't do anything. And you don't have a boss, so you're just kind of like willy-nilly with your schedule and doing whatever. And so have somebody that's going to be your accountability buddy, right? Somebody that's going to push you, somebody that's doing more than you, or somebody that's on the same path, but just, they're going to go. They're going to really do something special, all right? Awesome. Okay, this is kind of hard to read. I was promised way bigger screens, so it's kind of bullshit, Mike, but here we go. Here's the 7 levels of building out your team, okay? In the beginning, the pink one is you, okay? The pink one is you, and in the beginning, you're doing everything. This is when you're getting to the 3 straight months of $30,000. You're doing it all. You're doing the admin, lead generation, acquisitions, disposition. Your first hire is going to be a virtual assistant admin. All right? They're going to just they're going to make sure that your marketing's going out. They're going to make sure that all of your paperwork's going, whatever admin stuff that you have. It's usually not a tremendous amount. Okay? And then next, the next person you're going to hire is that lead manager. Okay? And I'm going to show you what to pay all these people and break that down in the next slide. But you're still doing acquisitions. You're still doing dispositions. you're able to outsource your lead generation. If you're texting, if you're calling, if you're talking to agents, you're still doing that this whole time. Okay? You're still doing that. Now it's outsourced. This is when you start outsourcing those efforts. And can we please stop calling VAs that are making calls for you VAs? Can we call them lead generation specialists? Because they are, right? It just sounds better. Do you guys agree? Lead generation specialists, not VAs. That's when you hire your lead generation specialists. All right? Now you're still doing the acquisitions, you're still going on the appointments, you're still locking up the deals, you're still selling the deals, you're still doing all of that, right? And by the way, there might be partnerships in here, and I'm going to offend you right now. It's nonsense, unless you're married. There should be two businesses that run side by side. You can do that. But if you're in a business where I'm going to do the acquisitions and you sell the deals, it's not going to work out. They're not equal. It just doesn't. It's not going to be equal. So if you're in a partnership, I would have a conversation seriously that says we're going to review this in 6 months and see if we're ready to split ways and start our own thing. I was in a partnership for a long time. As soon as I was out, I doubled my income with the same amount of effort. Okay? It feels good because we get to hang out, and it feels good because we have support, and it feels good because being an entrepreneur is tough, and our family doesn't know what the fuck we're doing, right? They're like, I don't know, I think he's a realtor, right? You know what I mean? Like, my family still doesn't know what I do. So it feels good to have a partner, right? It feels good to have that bond, and that's cool if you want, but at 6 months you gotta split. Because there can only be one person on the white horse. And if you're married, it's your wife, okay? Let's not get it twisted. All right, my little rant there. All right, next, lead generation. Now in the level 4 here, you start hiring your junior acquisition manager, okay? The seller appointments are still done by you. Your junior acquisition manager is just all day following up, setting appointments for you to go on to close, and you're still selling your deals, all right? Next is you replace that with, and by the way, in this, you can still be making calls. You can still be doing your lead generation with whoever's doing your lead generation specialist. Because the more that you can do from a lead generation side, the faster this is going to go. It's just a fact. That's the engine of our business. So stay in there as much as you can. Even if they're calling you, even if they're texting, it doesn't mean that you totally replace yourself. It feels good to do it, I get it. I wanted to do it as fast as possible, but I stayed in longer and longer to really build a big, healthy, heavy bank account. And then I was able to completely replace myself here in the 6th level here. So you've got your admin, they're doing their admin work. You've got your lead generation, they're doing everything. You've got your lead manager, you've got your lead generation specialists, you've got people that are going on the appointments, you've got people that are locking up your deals, and then you are just selling them. That's the level 6. You're still selling the deals. You're still building the relationships with the investors in your market, okay? Because that's really important. And then the 7th one, this is when you completely fire yourself from every role in the business, is you get a really great disposition manager that's going to transition your cash buyer database to a relationship with them. Does that make sense? Does anybody have any questions on this? Yeah. I just rainmake. I just make sure that the marketing's going. I just look at different opportunities and add different marketing channels. Yeah. So we started TV, started going real heavy with pay-per-click. It's going awesome. So that's really it. I'm just making the decisions on how we bring in more opportunities for them to close. Yeah. In this business, I audit 3 hours. Who has that? I audit 3 hours on Wednesdays of all the leads that came in, just to make sure that they're solid. We don't have anything that's just goofy in there. And then I do a team meeting on Friday from 10 to noon. Yeah, so about 5 hours.
Guys, raise your hand if you have a question so I can throw you the catch box, please.
There you go. But I'm always like looking at it, right? Like, I love the deals. They can do it all themselves, but sometimes there's kind of trickier deals that I look at. Go ahead.
How many people are on your team now?
So I've got 4 main people. I've got the 5th one is my admin. So I've got 2 in acquisitions, 1 in disposition, 1 lead manager in admin. And then I've got 2 cold callers and 2 texters. And I'll show you what I paid them. Because one of my cold callers made us $800,000 last year. One of our lead generation specialists. Right? Anything else? Good? Let's talk about what to pay them. Pay your people. Pay your people. Here we go. VA, full-time, until you get the leads manager. So what Lisa was doing for us was just cleaning up the lists, getting the skip tracing back, making sure it was in the dialer, making sure it was in for our texting platform. And then that was taken over by Jackie, the leads manager. That was a remote. And I paid her $9 an hour, $10.99, without a bonus. Okay? My VA cold caller, oh Jesus. My lead generation specialist, got my own self. Full-time, Americans living abroad are the absolute best. Americans living abroad. Absolute savages. We use a company called Call Motivated Sellers. They're phenomenal, and it's $24 an hour. Call Motivated Sellers. No bonus. I don't bonus the lead generation specialists. I have before, didn't move the needle. It feels like a nice thing. Maybe some Christmas bonus or birthday or something like that, but nothing for performance. They're $10.99. Same with our texter. Same company, but they're $14 an hour, and they're really good. They don't get on the phone though. They just text and then send it in, and we do the lead follow-up, and that's $10.99. All the rest of them are local, and they work from home. They don't work from my office. All right, they prefer that, and I found that mature, talented, top-tier people don't want to come into an office every day, in my experience. And so, base of $70,000 a year for my junior acquisition, and disposition. It was a constant turnover of talent when it was commission only. They were constantly looking for other opportunities, or they were just of the mindset, I'm going to learn enough and then I'm going to start my own business. I've started more $1 million businesses in Phoenix than anybody. So it's like, well, how do we get the people that are still very motivated, but they want some security and they're going to stick with me? A big salary. And a big in our business, I mean, 70,000 in our business is unheard of. And there's you can use a cost of living calculator to see what it is in your markets, just so that it's kind of in line with that. But $70K, when we do deals under 40,000 net, they get 2%. If it's over 40K, he gets 2.5%. My junior acquisition. That's the person. He's phenomenal. All right. Leads manager is just based at 52,000. She did not want to work for me at all. That took a while, and her thing was, I'm going to work 20 hours a week. I was like, great. I get more though. I squeeze more out of her though. It's awesome. But 52K, and my disposition manager 70K, and I love this sliding scale on what he does here. If he sells a deal under 15,000, he gets 5%. Over 30,000, he gets 7.5. Between 15 and 30, 7.5. And if it's over 30,000, he gets 10%. Why do you think I would do a sliding scale for dispositions?
Motivation.
Yeah, they're gonna squeeze out these. They're gonna squeeze them. They're gonna try to get the most out of every single deal, and then anything that he JVs with is 20%. And this is just our business, so Double ask an accountant? I don't know. This is just what we have. Go ahead.
For your full-time local guys, are you typically hiring folks with experience in what you're asking of them, or just sales if you're training the real estate side?
None of them had experience. No. But all of them natural at the roles. Yeah. If you want a really good acquisitions manager, get a former police officer. For real. They love it. They love this business. They love it. They're just absolutely incredible. I'll tell you this. We had a guy that, we locked up a deal. Somebody else had a memorandum of contract on it. Are you guys familiar with memorandum of contracts? Okay, so what's happening in Phoenix is people are going out, they're spending a bunch on pay-per-click. People have them come out, they say, what do you want for their property? And they give them whatever they want. They lock it up, they file a memorandum, and then they disappear. Seriously. So they cloud the title, disappear with no intention of purchasing, put their number on it and say, hey, if you want us to remove this cloud, give us 10 grand. Right? So Ryan, because he's a cop, called the guy up, saw who he was, did a background search on him, found all of his family members, and said, hey, listen, when we go to court and they do like a character profile of you, I'm gonna make sure that I've already talked to Cynthia and Bob and Karen and blah, 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 like his parents and his sisters and that's a great acquisition manager. They removed that lien immediately. Use that if you run into that. But I'm just telling you, they no real estate experience, just really, really good personalities, really good at with acquisitions. They just got to be super friendly, super nice, and have the ability to talk a lot. That's really it. And dispositions, I would say get somebody that's analytical, somebody that is really looking at how to get the most out of every single deals, somebody that still can push, but somebody that has more of an analytical mind. And then obviously for organization, somebody, your lead manager, somebody that's very organized.
Brent, what's the difference between your lead manager and your junior acquisition?
So my junior acquisition manager is calling all our leads. So anytime a lead comes in, junior acquisition manager calls them until we get an appointment, and then my acquisition manager goes on it. My lead manager just organizes all the marketing. Yeah, and takes, so here's, if you guys call and if you text, there's a bunch of like terrible leads that come in. Well, I don't want that to go and clog up my system, because bad leads hide the best leads. And then all of a sudden you're not getting on the best appointments because you're spending all your time trying to get a hold of people that'll never do business with you and are probably not deals anyway. So we throw out leads as fast as possible. Jackie doesn't agree with me, she's my lead manager. If they don't sign a contract in a week, I want them out of our system.
How do your numbers really work?
So, but she doesn't do that. She keeps them in there.
How many deals are you doing here?
We'll do 2 million this year, and we do about a deal a week. Yeah.
You got big spreads there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Phoenix. So we looked, anywhere in your market, you're looking at about 10% of what your average price is. That's what we're looking for.
Brent, what is the organizing
With Jackie, she just combs through the CRM. She lives in the CRM. Yeah.
She chooses which leads to
Yeah, because when we're looking at a lead, we're looking at 4 things, right? The condition of the property, their timeline to sell, their motivation, their price. So every lead's the same. Condition, timeline, motivation, price. So we're looking at that thing, and if we look at it, and this is a beautiful house, they say they want an offer, but they won't get back on the phone with us, and we followed up with them like 8 times, we get rid of it. You know what I mean?
I'm sorry, you said you look for 10% of your acquisition price for your profit?
Yeah. Yeah. That's what we shoot for. That's why, and Robert was even talking about the bigger markets, right? Have the bigger spreads. And so, yeah, squeezing the most out of every deal is important.
How much are you spending on marketing?
It's increasing, just because we've added TV, and that's break even, and we've just added pay-per-click. But we were running at about 25 grand a month. Now we're closer to 80, but that's just kicking in. That's just started in the last few months. Yeah. But we're seeing.
Hey, you
the
got a
return on
question?
that now. Oh.
All right, Brent. How do you break down your assignment fees? Like, how do you divvy up your assignment fees? I see how you do it on there, but how about for like your marketing and your
That's it.
And your
So I look at how much I'm paying my people. I look at how much profit I want to take home.
Yeah.
And then that determines my expenses. And so when I want to add marketing, which we've been ratcheting up a pay-per-click, and I'll add to this. I'll add some more people in these roles as it gets going, but I want to stress test it as much as possible, right? If I go below like a 50% profitability, we're having problems because then I can't take home the money, right? Not after taxes. And by the way, I have my taxes pulled out before I get paid. Yeah. Because I did a long time. Oh, I'm going to just take the money home and then I'll just figure out what I owe and I'll just send it into the IRS on this and I can do this. And so I don't want to mess with any of that. Because if you get audited by the IRS, even if you're right, it's going to cost you $100,000. So I get the taxes taken out for that. But yeah, that's what they get in the deal. It just depends on the size of the deal.
Hi there. I'm really curious about people not coming into the office.
Yeah.
Because I kind of worked the opposite. I worked, we all worked remotely, then we worked from my home, from a big space in my home. And then I felt like, okay, to scale and to really be a business, I'm gonna get us an office.
Yeah.
And it really motivated all of us and we really love it there. And, you
Yeah.
know, and we really feel like a community and a team and we're in a really cool office space. And you're saying like no office space. Although I will say that, it chokes me up, my office fees.
Sure.
So I just want to hear more about that.
I would love them to come into the office. I'd love to hang out with them. They just want to get on the phones and do their thing from home and go on appointments. So I mean, if the way your business works well is in the office, do it. If you could do it remotely and you're just on the phone talking to each other all day long, which they are. I mean, they're in the CRM all day long, noting back and forth. And even when they're in the office, they don't talk to each other. You know what I mean? They're like all doing different things.
How do you keep the sense of community? Do you feel like is it that sales meeting you do once a week?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Anybody else? Brian?
Cool. Hey, thanks, Brent. Hey, quick question. That situation with people clouding the title with a memo and extorting money out of people, is that going to be the new norm here across the country? I know it's prevalent in Phoenix. Is that happening everywhere now?
I don't know. Anybody else? Is it happening? Yeah. So a lot of companies that don't have skills turn into scams. So they'll get caught. I mean, they don't last long. This particular group had 8 lawsuits against them. Yeah. Cost of business. Four legs: texting, calling, pay-per-click, and TV.
The ROI was horrible, so we actually just completely stopped doing cold calling. So
Who was doing your calling?
Well, I had in-house people. It was all local people doing it. And
What-
then I went to
what market?
Kansas City.
Went from really well to nothing.
Like the ROI just wasn't there.
Yeah.
I mean, it was terrible. So we don't do any of that. I'm just curious, is
Were
it
you paying them hourly?
hourly plus bonus? Yeah.
What were you paying?
It was like $15 an hour. I pay my people good.
Could you keep them?
Like I could not keep people at your prices or your hourly and your
Yeah, because they live in the continental U.S.
yeah.
Seriously.
Right.
I couldn't either.
Yeah.
I had agents. That I would just give commissions to, like real estate agents. That I would teach everything about wholesaling, everything about flipping, everything about that. Couldn't keep them. I hired really good talent in town. There were young guys that were hustlers and wanted to learn the business. They were always looking over their shoulder for other opportunities.
Yeah,
So they never developed the skills.
Like you said, I trained so many other
Yeah.
people that came in specifically to learn what we were doing and
Yeah.
then went out on their own and now competing with them.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I learned the hard way, the non-compete, non-disclosure does not fly. It's Kansas City, it's Kansas City, Missouri, it's a right to work state.
Right.
So you can't even hold them to it.
yeah.
It's
I mean, I
pointless.
don't think any of them do.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So what's your marketing mix? Like, I know you said texting, cold calling,
Yeah,
inbound, which is pay-per-click, right?
yep.
And what else did you say?
TV.
How's that working for you?
TV, I'm at, I just started that. And,
I did it for 7
Totally.
years straight
yeah,
and spent hundreds of thousands of dollars.
yeah,
And it got to be where everybody was doing it too. So when I first started, I saw We Buy Good Houses. I'm like, hey, if they're doing it,
It must
something-
work.
It's work, right?
yeah,
So I did it for so long, it just saturated the market.
yeah,
The brand is still there, right?
yeah.
But the ROI, I was like, I think when I quit in January, I was paying $600 a lead.
Yeah. What were you making though? And what do you make per deal?
Our average is like 15 grand.
Yeah. Ours is just 30, 33.
Yeah.
I mean, from TV, right, we're at break even right now. But I feel like building a brand in the area will help me to do meetup groups, which will help me to get referrals, which will also pay for itself with deals that we'll get from TV.
We still get leads from people that, oh yeah, I saw you on TV.
Yeah.
I've been on TV for 9 months.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're testing it out. I don't know. I didn't like spending a tremendous amount on marketing. I'm the TTP guy. I talk to people. I'm the be proactive, right? And so I brought an in-house guy that I stole from Google to do our pay-per-click, who's a monster, and it's going really well. And I'm
You
trying
do
to
any
put,
social
I'm
media
trying to
at
put
all?
more. No.
It's terrible.
Yeah. I don't do any social media. Just search-based results. Yeah.
Are you boots on the ground, and what market are you in?
Phoenix.
You're in Phoenix.
All of Arizona, but mostly Phoenix.
Boots on the ground or any virtual?
Yeah. No.
All you're in the home with the seller?
Yeah. Yeah. We find that it's bigger deals, right? And we find that when you pay Americans that live abroad to make your calls for you, those are much bigger deals. Like we had a bunch of people from the Philippines, and they were great and they were consistent, but the deals were tiny. I mean, it just didn't make any sense. They were like the lowest hanging fruit. So we just spent a month marketing.
300,000.
Woo! I love it, but it's got to be working, right? Yeah. What market?
12 markets, 6 states,
Awesome.
all boots on the ground.
Yeah. Yeah.
We got time for one more question, guys.
Good. Oh. Say what's up.
What phone systems do you use that are compliant to use abroad?
We just use Mojo. Yeah, Mojo dialer, mojosells.com. Yeah. There's a ton of them though. You can get call tools, you can get whatever dialer you want. Yeah. But they, yeah, they're awesome. But it's just, it was really easy for them to learn.
So how do taxes work on that side? Do you pay them like a?
We pay the company.
Okay,
Yeah. I'm not messing with that.
okay.
I tried to hire a bunch of freelancers. It was a nightmare. Absolute nightmare. Yeah. So, yeah, I won't hire anybody that's in the lead generation specialist roles that aren't managed and recruited and just pay them.
Okay.
Yep. Cool. I love you guys. Thank you. It's awesome.
Thanks, Brent.